Hi, I'm Anita Moorjani, and I'm the author of the best-selling book, Dying to Be Me. Today, I'd like to speak to you about how dying taught me how to live. You see, back in February the 2nd, 2006, that was supposed to be the last day of my life. I was supposed to die from end-stage cancer. If the doctors were right, I wouldn't be here right now sitting in front of you speaking with you, because I had terminal end-stage cancer, and on that day my organs had started to shut down. I weighed about 85 pounds, I had fluid in my lungs, and my muscles were no longer working, and I was in a coma. My physical body was limp and in a coma, my eyes were closed, and yet, even though my physical body was dying, in fact, as far as the doctors were concerned, they said that I was gone, I was not coming back, I felt amazing. You see, I had left my body, and even though I'd left my body, I still continued to exist. I felt light and free and incredible, and I felt as if I was surrounded by a feeling of love. And I learned that I had spirit guides and deceased loved ones all around me, guiding me and helping me. But also what I realized is that they had always been there all my life, even when I thought I was alone, even when I was dying and sick and suffering and struggling, they were always there. And I realized we all have spirit guides that are there all the time trying to help us, but we don't make it easy for them to communicate with us. And so this is what I would like to talk about today, and I would also like to take you on a guided journey so that you can have a little mini simulated near-death experience, so that you can get in touch with your own guides, so that you can identify who they are and start communicating with them. So you see, what happened at that time is that while I was there outside of my body, and I was surrounded by all these guides and my deceased loved ones, like my dad and my best friend and people I didn't recognize, I started to understand that we have to allow them to communicate with us if we want guidance from the other side. They can't intrude in our lives if we don't invite it or if we block them out. And there are several tips I can give you to help you to allow them to come into your lives and to be guidance for you. You see, I went through years and years of just feeling fear. I feared everything. I feared not being good enough. I feared failing. I feared illness. I feared the conditions of the world. Do you relate to what I'm saying? I feared cancer. I feared death. I feared religion, the afterlife, just about everything. Now, some of you may not be in as bad a state as I was in terms of the fear, but we do live in a world where we are being bombarded by fear all the time. The mainstream media, social media, they're feeding us fear all the time, fear-based messages. What I realized when I was there on the other side, when I was outside of my body and surrounded by these beings, I realized I did not have to keep buying into the fear that we keep getting fed in this world. I realized that there is this whole other dimension that is just pure love, pure unconditional love. And most of us don't know it's there because our minds are so focused on the fear-based messages that we keep getting fed here in this physical world, in this physical life, by media and mainstream media. Even not just our news, but even our medical systems feed us fear of illness instead of teaching us wellness. Our education system teaches us fear. We have to compete with everyone. We live in a world of scarcity where we have to get ahead by competing with people around us. And that is also a form of fear that we need to win and we're not good enough to get into college and so on. So there isn't a fostering of a desire to learn. It's more like a fear of failing that drives us in the education system. In the healthcare, as I said, it isn't a desire for wellness that drives us or the healthcare system. It's more like a fear of illness. So we are all conditioned from this place of fear. And eventually you start living a life of fear where your choices are made from fear. And while I was in that realm on the other side, I realized and I understood that the reason my body was failing me and that I was dying from end-stage cancer was because for years I had lived a fear-based life and making all my choices from this place of fear. And that's when I learned that actually it was a choice. We don't have to come from this place of fear. We don't have to buy into this fear. There is a whole other world, a world of love that we can start buying into and becoming a part of. And our lives can change just like that. And that's what I want to show you and teach you. So as I learned this and realized this, I was given a choice while I was on that side as to whether I wanted to come back into my physical body or continue in that death state. And at first I really didn't want to come back. As you can imagine, it was such a beautiful state. And why would I want to come back to a body that was sick and dying and suffering? But then I started to understand that now that I understood that, now that I knew what I knew, now that I knew that it was a choice, and I have the choice to actually choose a more love-based life and a love-based reality, that my physical body would heal very, very quickly. And once I understood that, the beings on the other side who were surrounding me with unconditional love, they wanted me to know that now that I knew this truth, all I had to do was to go back into this world and to live my life fearlessly. And what does that mean, to live our lives fearlessly? It means two things. Number one, it is to be who we are fearlessly. Being who we are fearlessly means not worrying about what other people think of you, not worrying about disappointing people. It's about really allowing yourself to be your authentic self. And number two, living your life fearlessly means making your choices from a place of love instead of a place of fear. And what this means is that, for example, when you choose a job because you want that job, you love that career, or you're following your calling, it's part of your passion. Don't choose a job because you're afraid that a better one won't come along, or because you're afraid you won't have the money. That's just one example. So it's everything in life, we always have the choice. Are we going to choose this because we fear the consequences if we don't choose it? Or we fear judgment from other people if we don't choose it? Or are we choosing it because this is what our passion is? This is what we want to do. This is what I love to do. So I realized that I was living a life based on fear-based choices. And now I had to choose to make love-based choices. That every choice I made in the future had to come from this place of love. And so with this understanding and this clarity, I chose to come back into my physical body. And it was at that time that I started to come out of the coma. I started to wake up. In other words, my physical body, my eyes started to open. And my family were around me, and they were so shocked and surprised that I was coming out of the coma, because the doctors told them that I was never going to come back. And it seems that I was in the coma for about 30 hours, and the doctors, when they saw that I was coming out of the coma, they told my family that I was still in critical condition. And they told my family not to raise their hopes, because my body was still very, very sick. However, after about 4 or 5 days, everybody, including the doctors, started to notice that the cancer was starting to disappear. You see, I had tumors around the size of golf balls all over my body. It was lymphatic cancer, so the tumors had spread throughout my lymphatic system, from the base of my skull, all around my neck, under my arms, in my chest, all the way down to my abdomen. But now, 4 or 5 days after coming out of the coma, the tumors were actually softening and dissolving, and they were already reducing by about 40 or 50%. In 3 weeks, the doctors couldn't even find the tumors. In 5 weeks, they released me from the hospital to go home and live my life cancer-free. And that was in 2006. And now we are in 2024. So it has been now 18 years, and I have tried to actually live my life the way I learned from the other side. And I realized that living that way has created a very, very different life for me than the one I was living prior to the near-death experience. It's created a life that has actually allowed me to find a lot of joy. It's allowed me to find my purpose. It's allowed me to find my passion. And that's what I want to teach you how to do. And the way to do that is to communicate with your loved ones on the other side. And so I want to take you on a little journey. It's like a little meditation journey, which is going to take about 20 minutes. So I want to take you on this journey so that you can get in touch with your own guides and your own loved ones on the other side. So a couple of pointers before we go on this journey. First of all, our guides and loved ones are trying to communicate with us all the time. But you see, their energy is all the way up there. In other words, their energy level, their vibration level, the level at which they operate is way up, way higher than ours. And we operate at a much denser level. And so in order for them to communicate with us, we have to raise our vibe or our energy to at least try and meet them halfway. We may not be able to meet them all the way at that dimension where they live, but they can try and lower their dimension as much as possible. They lower their energy. And if we raise our energy as high as possible, we can meet them halfway, and they can at least drop messages to us. And so no matter what is going on in your life, whether you're feeling fear, whether you're feeling lost and purposeless and you want to find your soul's purpose, or whether you have an illness, you can ask them for help, and they will drop guidance and messages in your mind and in your thoughts. But you have to raise your energy. So when you are in deep, deep depression, it's harder for them to communicate with you. So this is why it's important to actually go into a meditation or a journey like the one I'm going to take you on to raise your vibe so they can communicate with you. But other ways that they communicate with you, even if you don't go into meditation or a journey, is when your vibe is naturally high, like when you are joyful, when you are following your passion, when you're feeling really happy with your life, when you're in a state of gratitude. These kinds of things, you know, when you're out in nature and you're admiring nature and the animals and the sky and the ocean, these kinds of situations raise your vibe. And that's when they can drop their thoughts and their suggestions and their guidance into your thoughts and into your mind. So if you are not in that state all the time, the way to do it, the way to get their guidance, is to consciously raise your energy by going on a meditative journey like the one I'm about to guide you on. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you to sit comfortably in a minute and to close your eyes. So I would like you to get into a position that you can maintain for a good 20 minutes or so. And then we're going to expand your energy. And then we're going to call in your guides and your people from the other side. And you're going to identify them, and you're going to ask them questions, and then you're going to listen out and trust the answers that you receive. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to stretch, drink water, and then I'm going to suggest that you write in your journal and so on. I'll give you a few more guidance pointers at the end of this video. So if you're ready, let's get started. I'd like you to sit comfortably now, and I would like you to either close your eyes or rest your eyes. We're going to put on a pleasing pattern on the screen for you so that you can rest your eyes and even watch the screen if you wish. Now I would like you to feel all the tension and the stress in your body just melt away. I would like you to feel any tension that you have in your jaw or anywhere in your head just melt away. If you have any tension in your shoulders or your back or your arms or your hips, just feel it melting away. Any tightness at all in your arms and legs, just feel the tightness melting away. Now I would like you to put your focus on your heart area. Just place your focus on your heart. And I would like you to see your heart just surrounded by a ball of light. Just a beautiful ball of light is bathing your heart area and filling your entire chest area. This light is extremely bright, and allow it to take on any color that it chooses. It can be purple or violet or pure white or gold, any color that it chooses to take on. Now I would like you to see this light just getting brighter and brighter. Just visualize this, use your imagination and see it in your chest cavity, getting brighter and brighter. And as it's getting brighter, it is creating an aura. It is expanding in size. So now this light is not just within your chest cavity, it is expanding so that it is getting bigger and bigger, and it is becoming bigger than your physical body, so that it is now surrounding your physical body like a ball of light, and your body is now in the center of it. This beautiful light has expanded to bathe your complete body with light. And as it gets brighter, I'd like you to see it get bigger and bigger. This is your aura. This is your life force energy. When you are tired and depleted and depressed, your life force energy is very strong. When you are joyful, your life force energy is big. But right now, we are going to use our imagination, and we are going to consciously and deliberately expand this life force energy. So I would like you to visualize this energy getting bigger and bigger. So now it's actually expanding and expanding so that it is bigger than the room you're in. See it continuing to expand. And it's now bigger than the house, the building that you're in. And it's getting bigger and bigger. And now it's getting bigger than the city that you are in. And bigger than the country. And it's all around you. So it's huge. This is your life force energy. And as it's getting bigger, I want you to start noticing that it is now overlapping with other life force energies. Not just other people who are here in the physical, but because this is getting so much bigger that your life force energy is now reaching out. It is so big, it is reaching out beyond the other planets. And as it's getting bigger and reaching out beyond even the furthest planet of our solar system, you start to become aware that it is now overlapping with the energy of some beautiful light beings. These light beings are now within your energy field, because your energy field is now so big and so bright and so powerful. I would like you to start identifying and seeing at least 3 or 4 or maybe more beings, energy beings, light beings that are there overlapping within your huge energy field. And as you start focusing on them, start recognizing some of them. Focus on the first one. Is this someone who you know who has deceased from this life? Is it a parent or a grandparent? Or maybe a child you lost? Is it a pet? It could be your pet. It could be an animal. Feel the greeting from that deceased loved one. Feel them embrace you in a warm spiritual embrace. Feel them hold you in light and welcoming you. Feel the emotion of reconnecting with them. Now I would like you to slowly move to the next person, the next being of light. Identify who this one is. This could be another deceased relative or family member or friend, or it could be an ascended master, Allow the being to take on any form that it wishes. Remember, it is in spirit form, but still you recognize them. It could be, as I said, a family member or a relative who has crossed over, or it could be an ascended master or a deity. It could be Buddha or Jesus or Kuan Yin. Allow them to take the form that it wishes to take. Feel the love from this being. Just feel the warmth. And now allow any other beings there to come into your focus, and allow them to take on any forms you wish. You could have several deities. You could have Jesus and Buddha and Shiva or Kuan Yin or any of them together with you. Call on as many as you wish. You're not taking them away from anything more important, because they can all be at multiple places at once, and they are there for you. This is part of their own evolution. It's to be there for us and to help elevate us as a consciousness. Now that you've identified who they are, I would like you to ask them any question that you wish. And I'm going to give you a few moments to think of a question. And it could be anything from something that's happening in your life. Perhaps you're having a relationship issue. Perhaps it's a global issue. Perhaps it's a health issue. Maybe you want to ask them, why am I going through what I'm going through right now? So come up with a question, any question, and ask that to them right now. And I'm going to give you a couple of minutes where I won't be speaking to listen for their answer and trust what comes to your mind. And remember that when you trust what comes to your mind, you will know which ones are from them and which ones are from your own mind. Any answer you get that feels fearful or negative is not them. Your loved ones and ascended masters will not plant fear in your mind. That comes from our own mind and our own conditioning, and it comes from this physical world. Any response from them will feel really positive and uplifting and joyful. So when you get something uplifting and joyful, trust that this is coming from the other side. This is coming from them. So I am going to leave you for the next 2 minutes to ask your question and to listen out for the response, which will be very positive. I would like you to ask the question of what should your next steps be to help alleviate whatever it is you're going through. And if this question doesn't feel right or doesn't fit your situation, please create a question that works for you. Now, I would like you to ask a question about your purpose. For example, what is my purpose here? Will you help guide me step by step? And even if you don't get a full response as to your purpose, there will be some clues, and remember, they will only give you positive and uplifting responses. So I will leave you to listen out to any clues as to what is your purpose here. Now I would like to leave you to ask them any final question that you may have, any question of your choice. Now I'd like you to see all of them slowly gathering around you and thanking you. And you are feeling their love. You are feeling so loved by them. Just feel their warm embrace right now as all of them are gathering around you. They are now telling you that they are always with you. They never leave you, and they will never leave you. They have never left you in the past. They want you to know that you can call on them anytime. They want you to know that all you have to do is get quiet and visualize, and they will be there. They would like you to trust more. That is a message they have for you. They want you to trust them more and trust your messages more. And they want you to know that they will be continuing to communicate with you, but you need to do your part in raising your energy so that you can hear them. They never stop, but you can't always hear them when your energy is too low. With that, they give you their warm embrace, and they tell you that it's time now for you to go back and live your life fearlessly. And now slowly, I'd like you to feel yourself moving away from their beautiful warm embrace. Start to pull away from these beautiful beings and slowly see your energy and yourself coming back from the ethers, from the heavens, from outer space. You're coming back and back past the planets of our solar system and back into the city that you live in and the building that you live in. And you're entering back into the room that you are in. Feel yourself back in your seat and start to feel your arms, your legs, your fingers, and your toes. Start to feel yourself coming back into your body. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can stretch and you can take a sip of water. And let me give you a few tips for the rest of the day. So first of all, please make sure to drink a lot of water today to keep yourself hydrated. You've been on a very deep journey. Secondly, your energy is still very, very big and elevated. Even though you've come back into your body, your energy hasn't shrunk down. It still reaches the ethers, the heavens. So you're still going to continue to get messages long after you've stopped this exercise. It's going to continue for a few days. And it's something I recommend you do at least once a week. Just go on this journey and touch the skies, touch the heavens, get in touch with your guides. And soon you'll start to recognize them. And the other thing I would like you to know is that now that we've opened this door, it doesn't just close. It's not just the information you got while we were doing the journey. The information will continue to keep coming. And just remember that our guides, they don't give us fearful information. The fearful information comes from here, the physical world. The beautiful, uplifting, loving, kind information comes from the other world. So whenever you get fearful information, just know it's not them. It's coming from here. The other thing I would highly suggest is that you journal. So if you have a journal handy, please make notes and write in your journal and start writing what it is that you learned today and what came to you today. And remember, you can do this journey anytime you wish. You can do it on your own. This is something that is accessible to you all the time. You are never bothering them or troubling them when you call on them. Many people believe that we're troubling them if we call on them too much, but that's not the case. Time is not linear on the other side. They can actually be at multiple places at the same time. And it is part of their evolution to actually help us to evolve. So they love it when we call on them, including our relatives, our deceased loved ones who've crossed over. So I invite you to stay connected with the other side, because that is what helps you to live a more purpose-filled, passionate, joy-filled life. Thank you so much for your time and for listening to this, and have a wonderful day and life. So thank you, and hopefully see you all soon somewhere, somehow. Bye.